Oh yeah, we're back with far less technical difficulties, I'm sure, than last night. But it's good to be back because today we're going to be talking all about Nottingham Forest, the things that are going on at the club, the things that I know that you're already talking about in the comments. And I know some of you are mentioning yesterday's victory, but a lot of you are talking about the main man on everybody's lips at the moment, which is Houssem Aouar, who plays for Lyon, who's been he's been a target for Forest by the looks of it for a few weeks now. And Forest looking to pay around 17 to 18 million euros for him. I think he's on the last year of his contract as well. So he's a player in demand for Forest. But we also know that James Garner and an offer potentially going in for James Garner is also potentially around the corner as well, because we now know that Garner is up for sale and Man United want around £14 million for him, but that could rise to 20 million as well. Lots of different reports, but David Ornstein, the last thing that he said as a very reliable journalist for Manchester United is that Manchester United want 14 million pounds for James Garner, which is still over what I would value him at. That being said, very good player, knows the system. Depends what happens with Houssem Aouar now, because everything lies with this. If they're going to sign another midfielder, which they potentially will, then if this falls through, there's a possibility of James Garner coming back or Malinovsky. Malinovsky is still in the equation. Don't forget it. Now, it's good to have you here. Thank you for everybody that retweeted on Twitter. Appreciate it. We are now live streaming, and it feels good to be here. I've just been on a podcast with some guys called The Corridor of Uncertainty. You can go and follow them on Twitter. It's called The Corridor of Uncertainty or at The Corridor Pod. Good little podcast. Really enjoyed going on it. Keith, Brandon, good to have you in. Rico, we'll see you very soon, my friend. Zahia, Sean, Kel, amazing. Thank you. Yeah, please, guys, if you can, share it to groups. Like the video, subscribe. The things that you do, please do them. Keith, good to have you, as I say. Sean, Mark, Chris, good to have you. Lewis, Jason, Joe. It's really good to be back. Now, I just want to give a big shout out to everybody that I saw at the game yesterday, and for everybody that actually tuned into the stream last night. It didn't quite go to plan, unfortunately, but that's just how it is, unfortunately. I think it looks like my laptop just completely overheated, because as soon as I left the stream, my laptop, about 2 or 3 minutes after, just completely shut down. So looks like an overheating issue, but I'm on my PC today and I got fans, so I'm not too worried. Now let's have a look. Declan, good to hear from you, my friend. Jonathan, big shout out to Sam Rycroft, as always. You know how this works. Sean Bauer, Near Carter, yeah, it looks like he may, and don't quote me on this because there could be other things, maybe a hamstring injury to some extent. How serious it is, I mean, he didn't have to come off on a stretcher, so there's something there. He wanted to play on, but he couldn't. So you can tell he's a leader. You can tell he's a captain, and you can see why Forest bought him. And I think it was like the money we bought him for was not a lot. Viva la Corridor. Luke, you know it, my friend. Thank you for having me on. Dad, evening. I hope you're doing well. Love you very much. Headley Green, good morning. I don't know where you are in the world, so I'll say good morning. Evening Essex Red. Toby Tales as well. Good evening to you. And I just want to clear up. No, I'm not being a naughty boy with these Aouar rumours. And I know that you commented on my thing. Please just refer to the comments. There is a link in there. I haven't got it to hand with me, but there is 100% a link in there. I think it was by GGNF, or it was a big French news outlet in sports. So just letting you know, it's not, and let's be honest, I'm still in the party of I think it will happen, because I was told by another journalist. His name is David Kent, who is worth a follow as well, by the way. David Kent, good journalist, and he tells me, and these are his words, he tells me fee has been agreed, everything is set up for him in England, so now just waiting for a medical. Now this was confirmed by Pedro Almeida, who's a Portuguese journalist. So this is it. There's more acclaimed journalists saying that it's likely to happen, but there is also other outlets which you cannot ignore saying that it's unlikely now. So I just want to say this. I still think there's a good chance of it happening. I think there's a good chance of it happening. Do I think, that the stalling thing is real? I think there's a potential, because we always knew that his number one side that he wanted to join was Real Betis, not Forest. So it was never going to be particularly easy, to be honest, in that regard. But that being said, it's not off the cards yet. So don't think that this is it. What I've posted on my Twitter, that's it. Nothing's happening now. That's not the case, I can assure you. Essentially, what's happening is some reports saying that he's stalling, which is, as I say, a possibility given the fact he's got no allegiance to Forest by any means, and also he wanted to join Real Betis. But there's more saying that he wants to come, and there's a medical tomorrow or the day after. So have faith. We'll see what happens. If he doesn't want to come to Forest, then I wouldn't really complain too much. There's other options there, but he's good for competition. So, Chris, you make a very good point. Where does he fit into yesterday's team? Potentially where Lingard was, but at the same time, would you have dropped Lingard? You know, I still don't, and I was saying it yesterday, I still don't, if you could even hear me, I still don't think Lingard was at full fitness, to be honest. But he looked very calm and collective. He was precise. He did his job. He didn't flick it around or do anything silly. You know, he did very, very simple work, and that's what we needed. So, yeah, it was a good performance from him. It was a good performance around the board. But you do have to have other players there just to kind of push players forward and get some competition going in that dressing room. It's what you need. Greg, don't start this. I hope you can hear me. I'm all good now. It's all fine. Dor was on Man of the Match last night. So yeah, if you haven't watched it already, go and watch Match of the Day last night. Really, really good, and Dor was on it. But luckily they didn't ask him too much about predicting where we're going to finish, because there's only 20 teams in the league. There's only 20 teams in the league. So just letting you know, Dor, I know that it's not quite dating time link yet, but you know what he's like with his dating links. You know, I said this to him yesterday, but Dor, if you're listening, Dor, we're going to finish 15th, okay? That's half of your prediction. So you can call me optimistic now. Just pulling you. Don't, Greg, don't. So yesterday was one of the worst days ever. That was, as much as it was a good day for Forest, it was one of the worst times for streaming. I thought, great, we've just won first Premier League win stream, and then all of a sudden that happens. Just my luck, eh? Yeah, Toby, if you go and watch Dor's thing on BT, he said 30th. But that being said, I know that he was stitched up by BT, to be fair. So we'll let him off with that one. And he was really, really good, as Chris says, really, really good on Match of the Day last night. It was really, really good recording from them. So yeah, go and have a watch if you haven't already on Match of the Day. Really, really good. Dor on tour, one of our own, putting our club on the map. Love him. Kel, 14th finish, you reckon? Hanucci, wow. Okay, top 10, he thinks. Sean Bauer, 2 or 3 more signings, then we're done. I'd say so. Mark saying 13th. I said 15th. So I've been really harsh with how I've done mine, to be fair. But in all honesty, I've given good reasoning for the 15th, right? As much as I don't want to say 15th, I want to say Forest are going to get top 10, which is not impossible, as we know. At the same time, I'm thinking worst case scenario. I'm thinking, okay, let's say we have an injury, or let's say we have this and this. And I do actually have some injury news for you now. I don't know if I'm really meant to say this. I probably can, because it was just what I've heard. Now, from what I've heard from Ryan Yates, he was talking to someone in the tunnel yesterday. It's kind of the opposite end of the tunnel. Well, it's not even there. It's the opposite end of the changing rooms. That's it. Near the Robin Hood suite area where you enter into that. And he was saying to the guy there, I don't know who the guy that he was talking to was, but he was saying that he should be back for next week. That's what I'm hearing. So his knee looked pretty bruised, but he was walking okay. Wasn't walking massively with a limp. But from what he said to this guy, he said he should be back next week. So that's what I've heard from that conversation. Not that I was listening in very much, but then, of course, as soon as it was mentioned an injury, my ears pricked up a little bit. So that's what I know on Ryan Yates. Obviously, as a player, you want to be as optimistic as you can with when you're going to come back from injury. But of course, you have to be realistic. So what he said, don't necessarily take it and think that's the end product, because we saw it at Notts County, came back too early, and what happened. That being said, Ryan Yates did say that it's looking like he should be back next week. So what do you think about that? Where's Ryan Yates going to fit in this team? Does he get back into the first team, or do you think... I'm still thinking it's going to be a lot of rotation in that squad, which is not a problem. But Ryan Yates, 1,000,000% has a part to play in that team, 100%. Ascents, he's going 11th place. Stuart Pearce. Now, I don't know if this is the one and only. There you go. Says 12th. Fonzie Ward says top 10. That's interesting. Sean, top 12. Hanachi, wow. You don't think Ryan Yates is good enough? I think he's going to make the step up when he gets a chance. It's a shame that injuries have hindered him, because I know how much he would have loved to have been on that pitch for that game, but it's one of them things, unfortunately, isn't it? Guys, do remember, please, if you can share this group to, share this stream to the groups, various groups on Facebook or wherever, or share it on Twitter, that'd be really appreciated. There's 107 of you in now. Please hit the like button if you can. Drives up engagement. It's good for the channel. And obviously, we're not going to be streaming as regularly as this come the end of this month. So, yeah, let's make sure this is the best, because it's going to go back to very soon. Probably maybe 1 or 2 streams a week. I know. Don't. I'm upset as well. We'll have to wait till December. And then it's a hectic month again. But until then, it'll be Forest podcasts every week, player interviews. We've got a couple player interviews being lined up, and I know the Gary Birtles one's taking a bit of time, but we're going to make it happen. I think he was on Garibaldi Red, wasn't he, today? So we're going to try and make it happen. Let's have a look. Evening, Anne. I hope you're doing well. Warren Who, Keith Crick, 7th. Warren Who says 12th. Interesting. Dad, if you're listening, where do you think we'll finish? Be honest with me. 8th, says Andrew Levers. Arsenal win. Really? That's a... If Arsenal win the league, I'll give you £10. How about that? In fact, if Arsenal win the league, what will I do? I'll shave my head bald live on stream. There you go. You've heard it. How many midfielders will we have on the books? We'll have a lot, but at the same time, five subs. You're going to need quality in each of those positions, especially in midfield, as we know that midfield won us the game at the weekend. So yeah, no doubt we're going to have a few, but that's how it is. Man U, yeah, they're going to let him go, 14 million, but that's just how it is. If we don't get Houssem Aouar, I don't see why not going for it. I think Spurs will ruin him, like they're going to Jed Spence, but that's how it is. A bit late evening, Jack. I hope you're doing well. Don't you worry, my friend. That's all okay. I forgive you. Nottingham Forest, greatest team. Hey, well, you know it. Greatest team. None of you have even mentioned my shirt that I've got on. None of you have even mentioned the Capital One. None of you have mentioned the Capital One shirt. You're always saying to me, Jay, what shirt you got on today? Oh, you haven't even got... have you actually got any Forest shirts and this and this? Where's the mention now? I've got the Capital One. And not just that, but I don't know if you know, it's Dave Johnson's birthday today. Now, I'm sure you'll all know Dave Johnson. He's a legend in the club, Brennan's dad as well. And it's his birthday, and I've actually got the red Pinnacle shirt that was plastered all over Twitter today for his birthday. So all I'll say is I've got some classic shirts, thanks to a lovely man called Phil, who gave me them. So thank you, Phil. I'm really, really liking this Capital One shirt. I mean, it was still... I was alive when these were done, but I never got one of these. I think I got... was it a blue John Pye one? Or was it a blue... I think it... was it John Pye at the time? It may have been a... I can't remember what it was. It was a good few years ago. It was an Umbro shirt. Mark, I don't want to mention that company. Oh, I'm gutted. I'm sorry that you've been turned down for jobs there. I shall not mention that name anymore then. Thank you, Zahir. It's a nice shirt, isn't it? It's a nice shirt. 18 passes before we scored. Football did a decent piece with Jamie Carragher. Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't? But this is it, though. Who wouldn't rate Steve Cooper's style of play? Because even if Forest aren't winning, I mean, you know, Newcastle, I would say, not an exception, but Newcastle being a game where you could probably give them a bit more lenience for not winning and playing the tactic fully, because they were technically unable to, I would say, in that game. But Cooper could, you know, he has the potential to be one of the best British managers or the best Welsh managers for sure. You know, I mean, obviously you've got to take into account Sir Alex in Scotland, etc. But you could potentially be the, you know, one of the next England managers in a few years. You never know. But this is it. It's all going to happen in time. And I think Steve Cooper, if he can keep us up this season, which I think he will, then we're going to see something really, really special in the making, because he's got a project going on. He's investing for the future as well. And where can you go wrong with that? He's investing in the future of the club, and he wants to see the club thrive. And at the moment, it seems to be doing so. So, yeah, Sky Sports still saying that Aouar is coming in. So, as I say to you, though, guys, the tweet, do take it with some, lenience, because I will just say, this isn't a report I've directly got. This is a report from another organisation, a French organisation. So, but there's also people saying, I think it was Demartio and Sky Sports as well, two very good outlets, saying that that he's going to be joining, and he's got a medical at some point in the next day or two. So some are saying tomorrow medical, some are saying the day after, some are saying not all. Anything's going to happen. I would still bank on it being an Aouar to Forest transfer. I think it'll happen, but we'll have to wait and see. Right. Let's have a quick look. Without skirting YouTube videos with techno background music. Well, I mean, I'm expecting good things, as someone does rightfully point out on Twitter. He's had a couple of he's had a tough season. He's had a tough season for sure. It's not been his best season, but that being said, he's a promising young player, and he's had good seasons, and he's not been awful, but he's just he's not played as amazingly as people would have thought for Lyon last season. That being said, I would say he's still a very good player. So to answer your question, Jonathan, very good player, and to answer your question, Greg, definitely central mid, maybe where Lingard is. So yeah, that's what I'd say. Now, yeah, I love the yellow. I've actually got, funny enough, Kel, I got delivered all these classic shirts, and I've got an original Labatt's, original from the 90s as well, not a remake. I've got the original. So I'm pretty chuffed with that, to be honest. It's a pretty good shirt to have, isn't it? Now, do remember that I'm going to be putting in a link in the comments. So if you do want to join and you do want to have a quick chinwag and talk about Forest, then please do. Remember to share this video if you can. Get some, please like it as well. Let's start a like spike, as Nick Hemphill would say. He's not in the stream tonight, which surprises me. But if you can just literally give us a hand and help us out, that'd be great. Feel free to join the stream as well. Don't forget, because I'm going to be pinning the comment in the comments, should we say. So I'm going to do that in just a moment's time, if YouTube allows me. If they allow me, which they probably won't do because they're annoying. Yes, they're not going to allow me. That's fine. That's okay. Never mind. I'll have to sort it. If you can't see in the comments, I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to work out how to pin this, but it's been a bit of a pain, to be completely honest. Wait, here we go. There we go. And it's pinned. There you go. So if you do want to join, feel free. There's a link there. TalkSport still salty, especially after... Well, this is it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the guy at TalkSport yesterday was calling us Notts Forest when I was there. So that's it. But let's have a quick look. So this is it from GFFM, which is Get French Football News. Hussein Aouar's agents have a provisional contract agreement with Nottingham Forest. The player is still hoping that other opportunities will arise and is seeking to play for time. So at the moment, according to, as I say, Get French Football News, Aouar is going to stall. That's what's happening. However, others are saying not so. So I'd say give it a couple of hours and we'll have a much more clear image. I'm reporting on both sides for you, because if I only report on one side and miss one other, you're going to ask me what's going on. But if I report on him saying that, anything else, then people are going to ask the same questions. So I'm going to report on both. We'll wait and see. Any news where Grabs has gone? Well, I know he's not in contract. It's a bit of an odd one. I mean, there was rumours of him going to West Brom, but nothing's really happened from that. So, which is a bit of a shock to me, really. So yeah, I'm a bit shocked. I thought West Brom would be the team he'd go to. Maybe that's still in the works. But who knows? We know that he was offered. I think he was offered to join a team in Qatar when Lamouchi was still here. So anything could happen with Lewis Graben. Anything could happen. Nice touch yesterday. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. It was nice when he came off and everybody was applauding Antonio. You know, despite the fact that he annoyed me when I was watching him play, always moaning about something. But yeah, Niakate pocketed him. Niakate did pocket him. But yeah, Antonio, legend. Loved him when he played at Forest. Yeah, more paying coming. The thing is, though, it looks like fees have been agreed and everything, but there's no personal terms agreed. So, Billy, to answer your thing, more pay should be coming. I'm not going to say he is or he's not, because there's still some bits to go yet. He still hasn't, as I say, agreed a personal. He hasn't agreed personally to join Forest yet, so we've still got to wait and see what happens. But it looks like money-wise, to buy him, it looks okay. It's just getting his bit right. Will you be doing a World Cup stream during the Premier League break on our internet? Well, that's a very good question. Well, if you guys want to see a World Cup stream, I will do it. I can't imagine I'll be too busy around that period, to be fair. I've got exams, obviously, my A-levels next year, so there'll be a lot of revising going on, but I'm sure I'll have a bit of time. So if you guys want to see it, I'll do it. No issue with that. No issue with that at all, if you guys want to see that. 119 of you in. Thank you all for joining me. I know it's a bit of an odd one. It's a Monday night at 8:30. I know. It's not particularly the greatest time to be streaming, I'm aware. But we will be back not tomorrow night, I don't think, or we might be back tomorrow night. Yeah, back tomorrow night, but not Wednesday and not Thursday. So there's not a Thursday stream this time, which is not nice to see. But yeah. Let's have a quick look. So, Chris Game, I have. It's a beautiful stadium, Sydney FC. Yeah. Do you know what? Fair play to him because he's going to. Oh, sorry about that. Bit of a glitch there with my stream. He's going to have a good amount of money going into his pocket each week. He's going to have a good place for his family to grow up. He's going to have beautiful beaches all around him. You know, he's going to live in a beautiful country, and he's still only 29. You know, so we've got a good few years to play there over in Oz. And I can imagine that'll probably end his career over in Oz, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that as well. Australia's a beautiful country and he's probably going to enjoy himself there. So fair play, Joe Lolly. Fair play. Did a lot for us. Did enough for us, you know, in his time here. He did a very good amount and almost got that goal, didn't he, in the semi-final away at Sheffield. So, oh, what a week that was. What a week that was. Near Cartier did a job. He did a job. He was physical. Obviously, the injury is a bit of a setback because he was fantastic. But that being said, as soon as Steve Cook came on, he was excellent, you know, which is not something we actually saw in pre-season. I thought he played quite badly, actually, in pre-season, did Steve Cook, but especially the Union Berlin game. But he's recuperated a lot of form by the looks of it. And it's almost like Steve Cooper said before, and I'm not saying this is what's happened because it's probably not the case, but it's like he said in pre-season, just, you know, go out there and have a bit of fun like kids Saturday League team. And then all of a sudden it's come to Premier League. It's right now. Let's actually turn it up to 100%. You know, when you're playing a game with your friend and they're like, do you want me to try now? It's that kind of thing. And yeah, it's good to see that Forest have recuperated, you know, from obviously Wembley. And because let's be honest, Wembley was a rubbish game. It was a great day because we won, but it was a rubbish game. But it's just nice to see now that Forest, they're starting to settle in a little bit, and we shouldn't jump the gun here, right? Let me just get this straight, because I was asked earlier, do I still stick by my my prediction of 15th for Forest in the league? And I say yes. Now, do I think we'll get higher? Potentially. That being said, we've got to be sensible in how we do this and how we judge this season, because we've had a very good game against West Ham, but we've still got 36 games left to play. And as much as I'd love to say, I think we're going to get top 10, or we're going to push for this, or we're going to do this and this, or we're going to sign this player, and just give it time. Just give it time, because at the end of the day, I think we've got a very capable squad. We've got a very good manager. We've got a very good set of recruitment staff. You know, so we can't go wrong. We can't go wrong. Yeah, but this is it. This is it. We've got 36 games left to play. We've got undoubtable challenges coming our way. But that being said, you know, we still have to we still have to keep working. We still have to keep training. We still have to keep gelling, because at the end of the day, we've still not fully gelled 100% yet. I'm sure, there's still areas that can be worked on, but it was a massive improvement on Saturday. I don't know how you guys, Sunday, but I don't know how you guys felt, but it was almost, I went into that game thinking, and I've said it on a couple of things like Dawes thing and Radz's thing, I think Forest can do 2-1, which is still a win, but I would say 1-1. I was going into it thinking, as much as I would take a draw, I want to win, but we'll take a draw for now. But then all of a sudden, they did that, and I just thought, do you know what? That's pretty good. That's pretty good going. And it certainly beat my fairly high expectations. So yeah, and as you say, Cal, for just a week's worth of a week's worth of work, it's impressive. It's 8 days. So and Bubble Blow, oh, you're saying robbed? I do feel free to come and jump on here, to come and talk about how you feel, because people thinking that West Ham were robbed or they were unlucky. You were unlucky not to have scored a couple of goals with the crossbar situation, which I will admit. Forest were unlucky to have not like that second goal, but of course it very, very, very slightly offside, and the rules of the VAR and others as well now. It's all very, very sharp and precise. So, but for me, I don't agree. The better team won, and you can say what you want on that subject, but yeah, we won that game. We won that game, and we deserve to. We deserve to, and that's just how it works. So, and look, and for any West Ham fans that do want to join, then feel free. Because I wouldn't mind. Coming in and having your opinions as well. And don't forget, you can join. There is a link pinned. So please let me know. So, right, let's have a look at some of these comments. Does Bubble Blower need a tissue? Should keep the target more. Crossbar doesn't count as, oh dear. Everybody's going at it now. I don't think they were robbed, to be honest. I just think it's a very poor excuse. At the end of the day, as much as it'd be okay, potentially, there was a couple of unlucky occasions for you. There wasn't. I don't think that you deserve to win that game. I think Forest played better overall. So, but this is it. So, right. Let's have a look at these comments. Now, I'm inviting Leon at the moment, so I'm just quickly dropping him a message to invite him. Let's have a look. Has he seen my message? I've sent it him on Facebook, you see. So let's just wait for him to. Get on this. We'll see if Lee will join us for tonight, and we'll talk a little bit about Forest. And just remember, as I just said a minute ago, if you do want to join, there is a link pinned in the comments. You can just click it, and I'll let you come on. You could see the gap between us and West Ham. Well, exactly, and they've been together for a while. They play, they've played Europe, they've played Premier League football for God knows how long. Yeah, I was really impressed with how they played. Don't get me wrong, West Ham weren't awful. I think Saeed Benrahma was really impressive. So yeah, I was at times a bit scared, because a Saeed Benrahma cross or a shot is always going to be lethal, right? Let's make this clear. But yeah, from what I saw yesterday, they deserve to win. And yeah, in layman's terms, we won. Get over it. Play the next game. I don't know who you've got next. And to be honest, I'm not too fussed. But okay, it's a Derby fan, isn't it? Yeah, we can tell it's a Derby fan now. Hi in League One. If you're gonna do that, I see how it is. Mini Cooper, hi chat. It's become a very bloody toxic chat now. This West Ham fan has made it. Goodbye, Bubble Blower. But this is it. We've got good West Ham fans that come and join. We've had a good West Ham fan that joined not long ago, and what was his name? Cyber Leader WHUFC. really, really nice guy. You know, wished us all the best and congratulated us when we won. So yeah, do you know what? Fair play to cyber leader, because he was always very respectful when Forest run, and also Rico as well. He's an Everton fan, but he always wishes us the best when it's us as well. So this is it. This is it. There's kind people, and then there's people like Bubble Blower who've just said things to be a bit controversial, haven't they? Bit late. No worries, Phil. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for the shirts. I really, really appreciate it. Lees Hill, absolute legend. Bubble Blower, aka Richard Keys. Oh dear, yeah. It's Talk Sport's a weird one, because the Talk Sport guy at Forest at the weekend, really nice guy, but he was calling us Notts Forest over and over again. So yeah, it's not very nice. It's not very nice. It's not very desirable of someone to say that either, to be honest. But that's Talk Sport for you, everybody. Cyber comes on Door's stream as well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's Cyber's a nice guy. He's got a good heart, and he's honest. You know, he thought West Ham would beat us 2-1. They didn't, and when they didn't, he congratulated us. Fair enough. You can't go wrong with that. Nice guy. Oh, AFC Bournemouth Fan TV. Listen, if we need to make this stream happen, I'm still waiting for you to come and do it. I've invited you, you know, still waiting for you, you know. So Nottingham Forest versus Bournemouth. I'm excited. Respect works both ways. You know it. And we're all up for a bit of banter, aren't we, in the football community? But we'll have to wait and see. I got a feeling we'll beat Everton. Yeah, how's everybody feeling ahead of this Everton game? Because obviously it's certainly not a game that will be easy, because I know that people are thinking we're just going to go over there and steamroll them, and okay, Frank Lampard, you know, I don't rate him that highly. I don't rate him that highly. I think he had all the resources at Derby and didn't win. You know, not necessarily didn't win the league, but he didn't get up. And let's be honest, for Derby that season, they should have gone up. But how he didn't make that happen with all those players that he had, I just don't know. And I just don't think Everton is the job that... I just don't think, you know, that... I don't think that Frank Lampard's the manager that Everton needs. I don't think he's the manager that Everton needs, to be honest. You know, he was a great player, a legend of the game and whatnot, and I've always enjoyed watching him play football, and, you know, but I just don't think he's the man, as I say, that is needed. Liverpool losing. Wow, this is interesting. I said on a podcast that I'd only mention Liverpool if they were losing. So they're down. I said I think it was 3-1, I think I said, for Liverpool, or 4-1. So I think they'll come back, but they've not started off well with that, have they? But I'm sure they'll probably win that, I must just say. A team that's been together 4 years versus a team that's been together 2 weeks. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and, you know, you put yourself in the West Ham fans' perspective. If that was us in their situation, we'd be absolutely gutted. Absolutely gutted. You know, so, yeah, it's... For them, unfortunate, but that's the reality of football. You know, when we lost against Newcastle, we weren't salty with their fan base. We're very respectful, and we just got on with it. So let's have a quick look. So people thinking Cooper will be sacked just know nothing about us, and they don't know nothing about Cooper either, because he's, you know, no matter what happens over these next few months, he's got a plan in. He's bringing in the right players. He's got support of the owners. You know, they're going to give him a new extended contract, which he still hasn't signed yet. So he's going to be fine. People are saying it as a wind-up, I think. Everton's winnable, but away from home would take a draw. Yeah, I mean, you know, they've got that home advantage, and Goodison's a good place to play at as well. So, but no City ground, I'm sure. But, you know, it's... Yeah, I'm excited. I'm a little bit tired thinking about it, to be honest. I'm a little bit tired thinking about it. But yeah, that's... Oh, it's just so exciting. It's just so exciting. The excitement is literally making me so tired, and I've got early mornings and late nights. It's killing me at the moment, but I'm loving doing this. Easy for us to fancy our games, fancy our chances against Everton with our result against West Ham and their results so far. We do, yeah, and we need to not jump the gun, as I've said before. We need to just make sure that we're being sensible with how we approach it. which I'm sure that Steve Cooper and everybody is, but the fans as well. We can't be going in expecting to win easily. It's not going to be easy. But coming on to tell us about his thoughts on Nottingham Forest and going ahead in the league is the amazing Boris Dan, who makes his very first appearance on the stream. And how you doing? You all right?
I'm all right. Good to meet you, Jay. Bit gutted, actually, because I heard you were at the Union Bar on Saturday and I didn't catch up with you.
I was at the Union Bar.
Dave Asprey said he'd spoken to you in the Union Bar.
Oh, no, he spoke to me at Boot Room. That's where he spoke to me.
Oh I didn't.
Yeah, mate, I was gutted.
Yeah, so I didn't miss you then. Maybe next time, catch up with you.
No, 100%. Well, which game are you going to? Is it Tottenham? I think it is. Tottenham home, should be.
On ticket situation. I mean, the West Ham game, I got one of those extras that came out at the last minute. You know how they released like a block? I'm figuring they kind of kept a block back, because it's sold out. Then all of a sudden, I got a message from Kel saying, "And quick, they've got tickets on sale." I went onto the website, straight on ticket. And then I just went silly then.
Well, I do hope you get a ticket for the next one, and if you do, just let me know. You got me on Twitter anyway, and we'll have to meet for them. But I do want to ask you, welcome to the stream, of course, Forest Dan, everybody, absolute legend. I do want to ask you, how are you feeling going into this Everton game? Because I'm sure you'll be in the same camp as me, as we shouldn't underestimate the opponent ever, and we should always approach with caution, but also excitement as well.
I'm a hell of a lot more confident than I was after the Newcastle game.
Of course, yeah.
And I think if we can play with the intensity that we know we can play with, Everton there, if they're taking, aren't they? Let's face it. I mean, they've got no attack. They're all over the place. They've got all sorts of problems. We seem to be gelling so quickly. I mean, that midfield of Mangala and O'Brien was fabulous. I fancy them against most teams, to be honest. And you mentioned about Cookie. When Niakate got injured, obviously I thought, shit. And then when I saw Steve Cook come on, I felt calm. And as soon as he came on, he was marshalling the defence and didn't look out of place at all.
Well, let me ask you this then, because Forest haven't just got one leader in the team in Joe Worrell. They've got numerous leaders, Niakate being one of them. How important do you think it is to have not just one leader in the squad, but multiple throughout the game?
Yeah, I think anybody that knows football will tell you the more leaders you can have, the better it is. And you're absolutely right. There are leaders in that team. I mean, Jesse Lingard, it's quite, well, you may disagree, but to me, it's quite obvious it's not match sharp yet. There's more to come from Jesse Lingard. Okay. And I think he's one player that will certainly be a leader. And then we've got, Emmanuel Dennis. Emmanuel Dennis is a fabulous player. I'm not saying he's a leader, but he's exciting. I don't know how he's going to get in the team, but it's exciting. And the player I would be most excited about would be Awar. I think that guy is real quality. He's not been so good at Lyon this last season, but that's because he wanted to go. He wanted to go. And you've seen it with Tielemans this year, who wants to leave Leicester. Last season, he wants to leave Leicester. You could see he had a quiet season. And I think Awar, he's quality. And I don't know. Jimmy Garner, how's he going to get in the team? If we got Jimmy Garner, we're getting options.
But this is it. If it's not just rotation, it's competition as well. And obviously, if Houssem Aouar doesn't come in like some think he won't, I still think he will, but some are saying not. But that's another conversation.
Well, just quickly on that, I think with Aouar, I don't think we should get into this situation of, well, if he doesn't want to come to us, then sod him, because he's an international quality player and he's not a Nottingham Forest fan. So he's been offered the chance to join a team that, from his perspective, is newly promoted, and traditionally newly promoted teams struggle. And he's probably thinking, well, I might be able to get higher than that. So I don't blame him for waiting. If that's the case, if he's just waiting a bit. But that doesn't mean that he won't end up here.
At the same time, and I do agree, and it's a very good point, he has no allegiance to us, and I understand that. But at the same time, it's also a question of, if we need another midfielder like Steve Cooper or whoever thinks we do by the looks of it, then, why would we want to be waiting potentially another week or two for this signing? Because we don't have those week or two to be waiting, because by then Garner could be gone or Malinovsky could be gone.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, Steve Cooper's the man. If Steve Cooper thinks, Jimmy Garner, then let's go for him. If Steve Cooper thinks Jimmy Garner's great, but Aouar is a level above, and I would put, I'm speaking of Steve Cooper now, I would rather wait that extra week to get him, then I personally trust Steve Cooper. Do you know what I mean?
Well, we should trust Steve Cooper because he's worked in the Liverpool Academy. He's won the World Cup with the under-17s for England. He's took Swansea up to a place where most of their fans didn't think they'd ever get to. So we can't say that he's an unreliable person, because he's a very reliable person, and look what he's done for us alone. So, but yeah, this is it.
You know what I thought earlier today? I was like most people, I'm checking my phone every 2 minutes to see who we're being linked with, and this, that, and other, Aouar, Garner, this, that, and other. And I thought, bloody hell, this time last year we were looking for nobody, and we were languishing at the bottom of the Championship.
Yeah,
it's just
you can't eever comprehend it, can you? You can't,
even,
because
even now it seems like, God, we're there. We've done it.
But this is it though. It's like, it's a case of, we thought we were going to get relegated. I was saying to my dad, and I'm an optimistic person, as all of you will know. But I was already thinking to myself, crap, we're going to potentially go to League One here, and how the hell am I going to go to school ever again? If people are going to be just berating me because throughout all my time at school, it's always been, Forest are in the Championship. What you say, even if you try and say, Arsenal are rubbish or whatever, as a joke, it always goes down to, yeah, but hold on a minute, where are Forest in the in the Premier League? And it's like, well, actually now we're above Man United, so you can say what you want. We're above Man United. So, but I do want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about Lewis O'Brien.
I see a lot of people as well predicting 9th, 12th, 11th. Yeah, maybe. I don't focus on that. I focus on, let's establish ourselves. Let's get to a situation where we are just considered a Premier League team. Not, as we are at the moment, one that could go down or whatever. Let's establish ourselves. And I think this squad that we're building, no matter where we finish this season, providing we finish 17th or above, no matter where we finish it, next season, we're only going to go on. Those players that we're getting are quality players, and they're only going to go on and get better. With Steve Cooper as a manager, who I don't think many people would deny is not just a lovely guy and a passionate guy and a guy that believes in the Nottingham Forest ethos, he's a bloody good tactician as well, and he's a good man manager. And I think he can take.
No, I agree. Well, based off that, then I do want to ask you a little bit about Lewis O'Brien, then, because he's £10 million, a player that I've rated high, and I always mention it because I want people to know I've been saying this since day dot. But Lewis O'Brien, he's a good player. He's a good player, right? And for £10 million, you've got to steal.
Kudos for you for saying it early on, because I didn't know a lot about Lewis O'Brien. I'd not watched Huddersfield a lot. But my God, he's wonderful. His close control, his ability to turn on the ball, his ability to take players on, his passing, his running with everything. To me, he's a proper midfielder. He's got everything. And I saw that in pre-season, but what I saw on Sunday, I was in love. He is.
But it's good to see, isn't it? Because I think for £10 million, you've got a player that is he's worth so much more, and not just that, but he's quick on the feet. He's got a great vision. He plays it safe, and he also, he doesn't ever really risk it, but he's always going for kind of optimistic kind of chances. And almost every time they've paid off. So,
and he covers the ground so well as well. He's got so much stamina and I mean, I'm perhaps gushing a little bit, but to be honest with you, I'm more excited about him now than any of our signings. I just want to see him play again. And when it came up as man of the match, I thought, yeah, man of the match. I agreed with that decision. The only player that I'm wanted to see more from, literally the only one, is Brennan. I want to see a bit more from Brennan. Don't get me wrong. I know he's going to come good. And I know it's a big step up. And I know he's not always getting the chances given to him that he needs. But he's the only one that's been like a bit quieter, for me, a little bit quieter than normal. Do you know what I mean? The rest of them. I mean, Toffolo, he was fantastic. Nico Williams. How good is Nico Williams? I loved Jed Spence. I loved him. I would not swap Nico Williams for Jed Spence.
I said someone said on Facebook, they said Jed Spence, Nico Williams doesn't offer what Spence does, and I went, no, he offers way more. You're right, so
more. He's better in the
he offers a lot more.
He's better at shooting. He's better at crossing. And I loved Jed Spence. I went into quite a depression when he went to Tottenham. You know what I mean? I thought Nico Williams would do well, but I didn't realise he'd be that good. And
this is it. Because he took my advice before the game when I met him. You see, he took my advice. So
is that what it is?
What can I say? Yeah, so did Awoniyi. They all did it. But Taiwo.
Everybody. I mean, I'm not one of these. I never get onto Forest players ever. I mean, I love Ryan Yates. Where everybody's just slagging him off, But Taiwo looked a different player. All of a sudden, that pace was there, that aggression was there, the body strength was there. He was against one of the toughest defenders in the division in Zuma, and he gave as good as he got.
I agree, 100%.
And where I was sat was front row. I still call it the executive stand. Brian Clough's stand. 18-yard box, and when Taiwo scored, that's where he celebrated right in front of me. It was just, you could see in his face what it meant to him. It's fantastic to see.
Amazing, mate. Well, listen, Ant, it's been good to have you on and talk about Forest.
Man. I appreciate it.
It's been good to have you on again very soon if you're up for it.
Thank you. To be honest, I had a text from Ez saying, "Ant, get on Jamie's show." I said, yes, sir.
Yeah, you got to do it. If Ez says do it, you got to do it.
First tells you, you got to do it, yeah.
You got to do it. He's a legend, is our Ez. And Ez, if you're listening, top man, you'll have to come on as well. But Ant, it's been a pleasure. Jump on again soon. On your own advice as well this time. It'd be good to see you again soon.
I was thinking about it anyway, and that just pushed me over. It's lovely to speak to you, Jamie. You did a great job, mate. You really are.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And listen, this is the amazing Forest Dan. He's been helping us since. Oh, I think my internet's gone off for a minute there.
No, you're fine.
We're all good. It's all being weird.
No gremlins yet tonight.
Oh, don't. The gremlins are trying to get me at the moment. But listen, and it's been great. Thank you for your ongoing support, and we'll see you very soon.
Yeah, take care, mate. Pleasure to be on. Take
care now. That's the amazing Forest Dan, everybody. And coming on is another legend that I met, and he wore a bucket hat yesterday, and me and him did rads. We did. I tell you, we did. It's true. It's the one and only Dave Asprey, who makes his first appearance on the channel. Dave, how are you feeling, my friend?
Yeah, really good, Jamie. Thank you. Lovely to have you invite me on, mate. Thank you very much for that. Very kind of you. Yeah, still enjoying the feeling that came out yesterday. It was a fantastic day. It's been a bit quieter today, but that gives you time to reflect and let it sort of sink through the pores into your skin and into your soul, So it's really good, mate.
Well, and I know that you were at the game very, very passionate as always. And as I say, he had his bucket hat on, and he was loving life, was our Dave. He was loving life, and he got the prediction right. He said it'll be 1-0. It'll be 1-0, but it'll be a bit gritty. That's how he said it. He said, "Oh, look, he's got it on now, look." And he said it in true Brian Clough fashion.
I'm going to take it off now, Jamie, because it left me with really bad hat hair all day. You know what I mean?
I know. No, I know the feeling. My hair ends up going like that, goes completely up, and I'm showing off my receding hairline. So I don't want to. I don't want to do that too often, to be honest.
Right,
but everybody in the comments, DJF3, good to have you. Kian, Toby, Greg again, amazing. I can see that Ez is in here as well, loving it. I want to ask you then, because Chris Game presents a very good point. Awoniyi Johnson versus Connor Cody and Tarkowski, former Burnley man there. how are you feeling ahead of that? Because that's going to be a battle for the ages. And I think for everybody that's saying that Jono was quiet at the weekend, I think he had a great finish and was unlucky not to get that goal. I think he's coming out of his shell more and more. And I would say it's probably a confidence boost thing he needs as well. And he didn't play awful by any means. I think he played quite well. So it's a case of waiting now, and waiting for him to get his first goal. And I think he'll be an absolute machine. But how do you feel about that?
I mean, to be honest, Jamie, from last week, I mean, at Newcastle, I felt that Brennan and sort of Sam and Jesse at the time and our more forward players just never got in the game. Whether it was through, I don't think it's through those lads not being on it. I just think we didn't give them the service and bring them in. Now, Taiwo obviously was sort of, I think there was a definitive plan from Steve and Tatey and the lads yesterday to get Taiwo in the game quite quickly. Jesse, for his part, he went and got himself some early touches. He was kept coming short and offering. With Brennan, it was a sort of a slightly quieter start, but I thought Brennan grew into the game, and I thought that Nico was terrific for Brennan, helping Brennan. And as the more the game went on, the more the two of them became a real nuisance, especially to Ben Johnson. And they kind of sort of got to annoy him, and we started to see Brennan getting a full head of steam. I mean, where I am with Brennan, Jamie, is that what you have to remember is that in the same way that Forest have made immense progress in a short period of time as a club and as a sort of a collective, Brennan Johnson, his rise is nothing short of meteoric, but at the same time, it's gathering pace. The new challenges keep coming thick and fast for him, and I've no doubt. I mean, Brennan is an extremely talented young man with a good grounding in football and a good background. He's got his father can help him out. He's well loved in the club. Brennan again has to make that move, but I don't have any doubts that he'll make it. And I thought yesterday that the longer the game went on, the more of a threat he became. I mean, Jamie, he was mere millimetres away from his first Premier League goal. Now, but for that thickness of a shirt, thickness of an elbow, Jamie, Brennan would be sitting at home tonight with a Premier League goal in his belt, having a brew with his dad or sitting with his girlfriend or whatever, with a big smile on his face, having a goal. And the poor lad was denied by a tiny margin. And it was a lovely finish to kind of draw Fabianski and then just dink it over him, so he was unlucky in that respect. I mean, had he scored 2-0, Forest may even have gone on to get more. But no, I have no worries about Brennan. But I think next week, Taiwo and Brennan versus Connor Cody and James Tarkowski, who, let's make no bones about it, they're two fine players. It's going to be, I think if it was to get into being a physical battle, Tarkowski and Connor Cody are going to, that's the kind of battle they want. I think they would like to draw our two boys into that kind of tussle. But if it becomes a thing about sheer blinding pace, then what Brennan has got in his locker will really. I think Frank and his back four this week, they'll want to deal with Taiwo's physicality, which I thought was terrific yesterday. Taiwo really put himself about. He's still not the finished article. There are some rough edges to be knocked off. He's still learning his way, and I think he's still adapting to life in England. In Britain. But Everton's key worry this week will be Brennan Johnson's pace and how Nico can get him into the game. Because if you get Brennan running at Connor and James Tarkowski, then Everton are going to have a problem. So it's a fascinating little game within a game that you pick out there, Jamie. So, but I think that each side has to kind of take a different facet. So for Everton, it'll be the physicality, but for Forest, it'll be that pace. And what I'd like about, with Taiwo yesterday, I felt that he was better with the ball in front of him for him to run onto. Keenan was all about holding the ball up, sticking his backside and the defender and bringing other players in. Now, I think Taiwo wants to get a ball and run onto it. In the same way, I mentioned it last night, the Umbumo goal for Brentford against that non-league team, right? The way he took that is I think that's a sort of ball that Taiwo would like to feed off. So I think at Goodison Park on Saturday, service into Taiwo to get him running, to get a head of steam up. Similarly, service for Brennan to get him running at them. I think that's key for Forest, really. But it's going to be a cracking little vignette within the game, mate.
And don't forget, and you mentioned Brennan and also his dad.
Yeah.
Forgotten that today is Mr. Dave Johnson's birthday. So happy birthday, Dave! If you do
Happy
listen to this,
Dave,
I know
29.
He's a legend. 20, 29 today. 29. Wow.
We've got one thing, Jamie. He's a fair bit younger than I am, but fair play to David. Yeah.
No, Dave. The last I heard, you were 32. That's what I heard.
That's my IQ, Jamie.
Oh, stop it. His IQ is about 332. We know that when he got the score right. So,
boy.
You make a really good point. It's Taiwo as well. He wants to make the run, but he presented, I mean, to someone like Kurt Zuma, who is a very good defender, very physical, you know, and quite hard to kind of beat off. Taiwo, I think, was completely overdoing him on Sunday, which did shock me a bit, because in other games I've thought, I don't know how he's going to fare against this guy and Zuma and whoever else, but he completely owned him. But I said this before. I said, if you put Awoniyi in that starting 11, he's going to wear out that West Ham defence, and he's going to do so to a very, very good degree, and potentially get a goal. And look what happens. He does all of those things. So do you think that we've got a potentially star player in Awoniyi in the making?
I think the raw materials are there, Jamie, and I think there's a lot of potential. I think he's... I look at him. Obviously, sadly for Taiwo, the direct comparison, and because it's so kind of immediate in our minds, is Keenan Davis. You know, and Keenan got a head of steam up, and Keenan could kind of go one way or the other. I think Taiwo's a little bit more straightforward than Keenan. Is that straightforward? That's not kind of the right. I don't know. I just think Keenan had a little bit more at the moment, a little bit more sort of ability to go in different directions. But Taiwo, you know, the more Steve works with him and the guys work with him, I think that he'll get better and better. What I really liked about him yesterday was the fact that he'd gone to Newcastle. He came on against Newcastle, didn't really make much of an impact, but then Shah and Byrne at Newcastle were really dominant, pretty much over everybody in our sort of forward areas. And obviously he's had some criticism. I don't know whether he reads it or not. You know, there's people doubting him. But Steve, it was almost like Steve said, this is what people have been saying about you, Taiwo. Go and prove them wrong. It's a lovely sunny day. Get stuck in. Play with freedom. Play with enjoyment. And he did. And while the goal was a fairly, not particularly aesthetic thing, he was in the right place. He was there. I mean, yeah, I mean, it only takes a second to score a goal. A certain person said that, and like, it didn't matter where it went in off his body. There were like 30,000 people, doing cartwheels, whether they were professionals connected with the club or they were all of us lot in the Forest family. So I really liked Taiwo's attitude yesterday. I think he's got a lot to learn, but he showed promise yesterday, and he showed that he's making progress. I mean, with all of these guys that are coming in, some guys are going to hit the ground running relatively swiftly, like Oral Mangala yesterday. I thought was terrific. Nico, but others are going to take a bit of time. Now Taiwo might take a bit of time, but when you get Taiwo to where we want him to be, he might on days be unplayable. So I think again, the beauty of Steve Cooper is he will look at every member of the squad and treat them in a way that he believes is appropriate to them. There's no my way or the highway, and we're all doing the same thing. What's good for Taiwo Awoniyi might not be so good for Brennan, might not be so good for Oral, might not be so good for like Harry Toffolo, Lewis O'Brien. And that's where I love Steve's interpersonal skills. I think that's his greatest quality. The ability to communicate either in an exterior sense out to the world and the media, and then within the bubble, if you like. And I just think, Taiwo did it. I mean, the only thing for Taiwo is, Emmanuel Dennis is like right on the scene now. He's desperate to play. Sam continues to do well and run his nuts off. And, Sam's another one. Once Sam gets a goal, then Sam will get going, and then Emmanuel Dennis. And then if Neil Maupay comes along, then what, the extra issue then for Taiwo is how does he deal with these people breathing down his neck for that shirt, But where we are from a week ago, Jamie, we've got some problems which are rather nicer to have than the ones we had last week. So, massive credit to Forest for what they've done this last week. They've been a credit to the club, and they've been a credit to themselves and to us as supporters. So yeah, and that's the nice feeling that I'm kind of living with from yesterday, mate.
Absolutely. Well, this is it. This is what it's all about, Dave. And look, it's been a pleasure to have you on, and we'll have you on a panel, I think, very soon. We're going to start getting panels together more often. But Dave, don't go just yet. Don't go just yet, because Lee's going to join in a minute. But just before,
Jamie,
I want to say happy birthday to Mark.
Can I just say to you, mate, we're still above Liverpool in the table because Palace. Palace are 1-0 up at Anfield.
Are they still winning?
Yeah, I think, last time I looked before I talked to you, mate, Wilford put them 1-0 up. After being
still 1-0 at half time.
Yeah, believe so, mate. Yeah.
That is embarrassing. Well, Dave, the last question I want to just say, and and as Lee Hill says, Dave's a very nice guy. Dave is a very nice guy. And Lee, me and Lee now know this. We met him in Germany. It was lovely. And we had a very nice night drinking a lot. But listen, Dave, onto that question with you, though. I want to know, where do you see Forest finishing at the end of this season? Because you seem to get it spot on yesterday with the score. So can you tell us that we're going to finish in the top 3?
Is this dear young Mr. Martin, dear boy, are you going to play this back in May and say, hey, Asprey, you said you're kind of holding me to ransom, are you, young whippersnapper scamp that you are? I was saying to Dor, because I've been on with him a few times, and I've never wavered from my belief that Forest would finish 14th based on Steve Cooper's excellence as a coach and as a man who is inclusive and draws groups of people together and knows how to set up a social structure as well as a tactical organisation and a spirit. After Newcastle, I was saying my default setting after Newcastle, Jamie, was I'll take 17, surviving by the skin of the teeth, fingernails, and goal difference. But after yesterday, honestly, mate, my overriding thing from yesterday was how a team of a team of actually quite unfamiliar people with each other cohered to the extent that they managed to get themselves right into the game, get themselves a goal, and then when obviously West Ham were having their moments, because West Ham are a good team, let's take nothing away from. I thought actually immense credit to both teams yesterday to play in that heat and create such a watchable game of football. So fair play to West Ham and to Forest. But I like the way Forest managed the game at the end. Now they're doing it like, how long has Oral Mangala known Lewis O'Brien? What, a week? And Taiwo's getting they're all like, when I used to play local football myself, Jamie, you'd turn up for pre-season training in July and you think, who's that guy over there? And who's that guy over there? And who's that guy over there? And it did take time. But I thought what happened yesterday was it gave me hope that Forest and Steve and Tatey and Andy Reid, Jamie Robinson, these important people, around the lads are going to get them together. Actually, probably quicker than I envisaged. Quicker than all these lazy doing a Fulham merchants think, because that is really lazy journalism. That's just taking a lazy label and applying it to this group of people. Now, when will they get the idea that none of this was Forest's choosing? It was where they were and they had to do it. But for me to see, I mean, there was 8 home debutants or something like that, and we're going to add Freuler to it, and we're going to add Emmanuel Dennis to it, and maybe Neil Maupay, and possibly Hassan Aouar. But the fact that it seemed like it was coming together yesterday, really, Steve could say it came together because we beat the team that finished 6th 2 years ago and 7th last year. So that to me was the most. I mean, I walked out the back of the Trent end along the river, mate, amongst a very happy group of people, and I kept my thoughts to myself for a change. And I just thought to myself, well, if it's this good at the moment, wait till they're all attuned and adjusted to each other. And Forest could, I'm still going 14th, Jamie, which would be a tremendous achievement. But you never know, mate. You never know. It gave me some real hope. I mean, if we go to Goodison and we pick up 3 there, then we're not far away from where I and probably many Forest people thought, in terms of points total, we'd like to be at this point. I mean, given that, to be honest with you, mate, I had written off Tottenham at home because I think Tottenham are a class outfit. But, they've got to deal with our 12th man. And if Tottenham are not on it, and Conte's probably not going to be on the bench because he's red carded. He's probably going to have to sit in the stands. Maybe I might be wrong about that. I do think City is a task too far too far. They're the best team in world football, Manchester City. But Tottenham could be rattled. And I was impressed with Tottenham yesterday. They didn't play very well, but they got a 2-2 draw there. So that was that says maybe Tottenham are not as soft as they've been, and I think that's part of Conte's doing. But for Forest, if we could get to those 3 games in September, which, without being disrespectful to those 3 teams, are games that you'd think Forest have a sniff at. So Bournemouth, Leeds, and Fulham, then that's got to be good. But what's great is that monkey of the first win is off our back. So I'm again, I've rambled around the Wrekin, don't I always? To be honest, Jamie, I'm going to stick with 14th. I mean, I've never wavered from it, but I'll be very happy, young man, if you come back in May and say, you said 14th, Asprey, and they finished, I don't know, 11th or 10th. That'd be wonderful. But no, it's a good place to be for a Forest fan at the moment. And as I said to you yesterday, mate, and I've kept thinking, what a fantastic day for all the young uns. You got your first Premier League win yesterday, Jamie Martin, and so did a lot of the others. So it's just a great day. And look, you've got a massive smile on your face, mate, and that's good. And it's we've got a stepping stone. We've got a foot on the first rung of the ladder, and there are going to be some slippy rungs, and we're going to slip down. It is a snakes and ladders, really, this league. But what a nice position to be in at this early stage, mate.
Well, let's just hope that Dave is rolling the snakes and ladders, that's for sure, because he knows what he's doing now. And I just want to say as well, before you go, Dave, Forest Dan sends £2. Thank you very much, Forest Dan. Much appreciated for your donation. And you are absolutely correct. Dave Asprey, a true legend. Dave, it's been a pleasure having you on the stream. Definitely coming on again very, very soon. Be good to chat more football with you, potentially on a non-live stream, maybe on a podcast, perhaps. We'll work that out. So thank you for joining me, my friend, and I'll see you very soon.
Thank you, mate. You Reds.
You Reds, come on. That was the amazing Dave Asprey, everybody. And coming on in just a moment is the amazing Lee, who joins us. And we're going to have Lee on for the next 10 minutes before we head into a Q&A until 9:30 and end the stream. So I'm still having some tech issues my side. Nothing massively noticeable. Well, nothing noticeable your end, just things my end. But I'm going to get it sorted. And best manager for 20 years, top chairman. We've got a lot to be ambitious for. Now, I know Door's Day in Sight did make a brief appearance, as people have said, but we did manage to block it. So, Door, stop sending your day in. We know. Now, joining us is man-made megaphone man, Lee. Look, I caught him off guard there. Look, he was looking at himself like,
he froze on screen. You keep freezing. Well, no, how are you? How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm going to outdo Dave by 1. I'm going to say we'll finish 13th.
Oh, so who do you think is going to be a standout player for Forest? If I was to say that this season, who do you think is going to be the standout player?
There's a few you could list, didn't they, after yesterday? You've got O'Brien. If he keeps it up, I'll hold my hands up. He were brilliant yesterday. We've got Mangala. Don't forget, we've got Dennis to come in. Hopefully that guy from Lyon. There's a lot. Henderson. There's a lot you could pick, isn't there? Each to a man, though, yesterday, they were outstanding, weren't they? So,
well, let me ask you then. Forest are averaging out at the moment at probably about £8 or £9 million per player, because if it's like 14 signings for 110 or 20 million or whatever the number is at the moment, it's under £10 million a player is what they're averaging out at. Do you not think that's absolutely brilliant business considering the players you've got?
It's shrewd business, isn't it? The guy they've got from Atalanta, was it Frula?
Yeah.
7 odd million for a class player with Champions League experience, Champions League goals, runs the show at a team that finished third. You know, it's great business. I don't know how we've pulled it off, but we have, haven't we? You know, really can't.
Well, obviously, he was at the game as well, wasn't he? So he was watching over what he could be part of. Now, let me ask you this question then. If we did get someone like Aouar in, or potentially Ghana, you know, where do you think these players fit in? And also, I do want to ask you, because I know you've been vocal about this, Ghana and how much you'd pay for him. Man United are saying they want 14 million for him. What do you think about that?
I wouldn't. And it's not that I don't like Ghana. I do like him. I think now, if we get that guy from Lyon, we don't need him. Our midfield's pretty stacked now, if you look at things. And then we sign him from Lyon. If we sign him from Lyon, I just don't think we need Ghana at this stage. And that's no disrespect to him. Do I think he's Premiership class? That's yet to be seen, isn't it? But would I pay 14? No. We've had this discussion before. 6 to 8.
Would you pay 10 million?
8 at a push. I wouldn't pay any more than that.
Because he had near on the same amount of he had near on the same amount of stats as, you know, O'Brien, as we've mentioned in previous podcasts before. And obviously we bought O'Brien for 10 million. Now, I'm not saying that there's any link between that, but, you know, would that make you feel more endeared to pay £10 million for Ghana or not?
No, not for me. And again, it's nothing against Ghana. I don't think we need him. I think we've got quite a lot of depth there now. It's more goal scorers we're looking for now, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you then.
Creative and goal scorers. Yeah.
So Dennis, Kouyaté and Freuler, 3 of the most recent signings. I think it's 15 signings we've got all together now. The one that we don't speak about very often, and I don't think I've heard many people talk about on Twitter at all, is Kouyaté. You know, what do you think about that? Because I mean, he's an older player, but he's got a lot of experience at Crystal Palace, West Ham, others. He's versatile. He can play centre back as well.
Yeah.
How do you feel about him?
No, that's good. We need players with versatility. I mean, that's what Cooper seems to have been doing, hasn't he? He's bought players that can play other positions in case we do get injuries. From what I gather, he's a really strong, solid midfielder. And like you say, he's got that Prem experience. That's what we need, isn't it? You know, just to go run alongside all these young players that are full of energy. Just that bit of know-how. You know.
Well, let me ask you then, because Patch Adams says that we miss Ghana's set pieces. And I know that people are saying that Jono and Williams aren't great, but do you not think it's a bit early doors to be saying that?
Yeah, I mean, can Lingard do it when he's fully fit? Can this Leon guy do it when he's fully fit? If we still on for Gibbs White, you know, he's not still out the pitch yet. It keeps springing back up, doesn't it? And I've heard again tonight about that Bakayoko guy from Chelsea. Apparently, we're back in talks for him. So he's another midfielder, isn't it? So I think if we, not saying we will for 1 minute, if we did get them, you've got to say Ghana's out the window, isn't it? You know?
Well, let me say then, and we're going to bring in this wonderful name that I know you all absolutely love, Richard Keys. He's convinced that Scott McKenna should have been sent off for his handball yesterday at West Ham. Now, my take on this was that McKenna was moving his chest round, you know, and unfortunately his arm was in that position. I didn't see any intention. Of course, they've got to give the yellow, and it's harsh, but that's how it is. It was a penalty. But do you think a red card?
No, I watched Sky earlier. I think it was Dermot Gallagher, who used to ref in the Premier League. He was saying the reason it wasn't a red card was because the keeper was directly behind him, so you couldn't say it was definitely going to be a goal. So it wasn't necessarily a goal-scoring opportunity, if that makes sense. And that's why he said that by the laws of the game, that's why it was just a yellow. Had Henderson not been behind McKenna, it would have been a straight red. So kind of lucky, but by the replay, it looks like Henderson would have had it, to be honest.
Well, this is. I want to talk to you actually, because maybe a couple more minutes, then we'll move on to a Q&A. But Lee, one of the last questions I did want to ask you was Dean Henderson. You know, Man United. I don't know. You know, obviously it's only the second game week, but potentially, regretting loaning out someone of that quality. And, potentially they could lose him permanently, after this season if things go well at Forest, How did you feel, how do you feel about that whole situation? Because I think he had an absolutely stunning game yesterday, and he did me a massive help on my FPL team. So how did you feel about that?
Fantastic. You wouldn't think he'd been a Manchester United player, and what I mean by that, his whole attitude wasn't. It's like he's not concerned about Man United. It's not that he doesn't care. He's just happy to be at Forest and he wants to be a part of Forest. And I think, given things going right, he's open to staying. That's just my own opinion, what I believe. I don't know anything. I'm not in the know. I just feel like if we have a decent season, which obviously he's going to be part of it, he'd be open to staying, especially after all the trouble at Man United. He's not been shy to come forward with what he thinks, has he? So maybe he's doing that in one respect to try and force a move because he doesn't want to be there anymore.
And United don't even have a recall option as well for him on the loan. So this is a massive blow for them. And De Gea's out of his contract next year. Yeah. Do you think after all of this, let's say De Gea does leave, do you think maybe Henderson will turn around, even if he has had a good season at Forest, and go, I want to be number one at Man United? Or do you think potentially he's just going to leave it and just
I guess it depends on the relationship that he has with them moving forward, isn't it? Because, they might not be happy because he's opened his mouth saying how he feels. If they're going to restrict him again and not, they can't make promises to him, can they? Because you've seen how it's been portrayed in the media. Oh, no one's promised this when he has been promised this. You know what I mean? So it all depends on that and how he feels. If Cooper makes him feel amazing and that he's definitely number one no matter what, where are you going to want to go?
Well, I am just hearing some reports now that Darwin Núñez has been sent off for Liverpool. This is a big blow. Liverpool currently at the moment 58 minutes in and they're still 1-0 down. Núñez, it has been taken off. And wow, my FPL has been absolutely destroyed. So thank you, Liverpool. You've ruined my night. It was going so well. Wow, what is good? It's ruined my night now. That has, as much as I don't want Liverpool to win, I wanted my FPL to do well because actually, as I'll have I was 20th in the Forever Forest.
Because Ez is above you. I'm just guessing. As a dinner guess.
Well, no, he's not above me anymore. I don't think. But Darwin Núñez got me 2 points, everyone. So I'll take it. Now do one.
Now he's some points for getting sent off, right?
Yeah, so thank you for that, Núñez. You give me points and then you take them straight off me. Cheers. This is an absolute show. Liverpool tonight, by the looks of it, potentially. I mean, if we're looking at the table now, Liverpool at the moment, they got a draw in their first game against Fulham, and they've still got another 30 minutes or whatever. But it's not looking very promising. Who would have thought we'd see Nottingham Forest above both Liverpool and Man United?
Early days, but it's nice, isn't it? Very early.
It's nice to look at the moment.
Nice to bask in it just for a little bit, just allow yourself to enjoy it, and that's what.
A lot of Liverpool fans I spoke to, though, they'd said to me, "Okay, it's not going to be. We're not just going to roll over Fulham and Crystal Palace, but there's 6 points there that they're going to take." I mean, what's gone wrong at Liverpool for that to happen? But that's a completely different conversation because we're here to talk about Forest. And I want to get your thoughts. Just the kind of final question I'll ask you. How are you feeling going into that Everton game at the weekend?
I feel like we can take something from it. And that's not just because of yesterday. Before yesterday, I thought to myself, Everton are there to be taken. For me, what I saw against Villa, their defence down the channels looked really slow. So with our pace going forward, especially if someone like Dennis is playing one side, or Wanyi's playing, or Jono, the potential what we could do to get round the back. I think they're there. Don't get me wrong, they're still not a bad side. I just think they lack confidence at the minute, and I think they're there to be taken because of that.
Well, listen, this is it. They're a demoralised side. Forest are on the up, if you like, in terms of points and also motivation. They got more points than Everton, as you know. And a lot could happen. Goodison's not an easy place to play out as an opposition. But that being said,
Jamie, like our home games, we've got to make it a fortress, like we did yesterday. It was fantastic. But we're still going to need to pick up a few points away from home. So if we can just chip away and keep getting the odd draw, maybe the odd win, we're not going to win them all. And then sit around the fortress. There's no reason why we shouldn't stay up or even finish mid-table.
Well, absolutely. Well, listen, Lee, good to have you on the podcast again. We'll have you on for a little bit longer in the next one. I'm too tired. I've got a driving lesson at 7 a.m. now. So shout out to you, Glyn. Oh, you've killed me in the morning. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be able to drive to games at some point, but I'm not sure if I'll be going to Everton this weekend. I'm a little bit upset about that, but that's a conversation.
I'm there if they send me my tickets. I've still not got them yet.
Well, they need to sort Lee out. Guys, Forest, if you're listening, sort him out.
Sort me out, and you need to replace my yellow shirt that's got a thread in, despite never being worn. I only bought it.
Exactly.
It's
because you're not Premier League, Lee.
Oh no, not with this one. No.
See,
No,
you're not Premier League.
Before I go, shout out to Jono. I did see him yesterday, just briefly. Well, I just want to say happy birthday to him. Hope he's had a brilliant day. If he is watching, I don't know, but happy birthday anyway.
Happy birthday, Jono, my friend. Well, listen, Lee, good to have you on, my friend. Thank you very much for joining, and have a fantastic evening, mate.
You. Peace.
See you soon, mate. See you there. That's the amazing Lee Goodburn, Megaphone Man. Now we're entering the last 5 or so minutes, and we're going to do a quick Q&A. Answering all your questions. What a night it's been. I'm absolutely roasting. I'm a little bit tired, but I'm enjoying it. And it's 1-1. Luis Diaz scores as he brings my fantasy Premier League back into something. This is exciting, isn't it? I lost 4 points because of Mr. Nunez, but now Luis Diaz has scored. Maybe I'm going to recuperate a few more. Who knows? Thank you very much, Luis Diaz. Now let's make sure that Crystal Palace go another goal up. How about that? So good to be here, as I say. Couple more minutes. We're going to go till 25 past with Q&A, so any questions you do have, feel free to ask them. But as Keith says, it's important that we beat teams like Everton. We need the 3 points, and as much as they want it, we need to take it off them, and we need to be ruthless. So that is how it is. Any news on shirt sponsor? Nothing just yet. I've heard that there's something going around about the owner doing it in order to get around certain financial bits. I don't know how true that is, to be honest, and I'm going to be very careful on that. So I'm not going to say it is that. I put my bet on Bet365, but that being said, I don't know if it will be that either. But if anybody hasn't seen, you can go to my Twitter, and I made a Forest shirt with the 3 logo on it, which was nice. So have a little look at that. Do you think Garner and Malinowski would finish the squad off nicely? I mean, if we could do it, then yes. I think you'd probably be paying about maybe 23, 25 million for both minimum, potentially 30 million. Oh, sorry. Oh, my stream glitched. My stream keeps glitching, guys. Oh, technical gremlins again. I've got an Ethernet cable. I'm going to use it next time. But yeah, I think that would finish it off nicely. Would you have the same 11 for Saturday? Potentially, yeah, I'd say so. And then introduce Dennis and Freuler, maybe Kouyaté as the game goes on. But yeah, I'd have the same starting 11 and introduce them later. Keep Onana quiet and we'll be all right. Very good player is Onana that we were interested in at one point. But also must be said, we've got a very good midfield. So thank you all for joining. Listen, we're going to cut it there because it's been a very good stream. I've really, really enjoyed it. But yes, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. In the next streams, which is tomorrow night, hopefully about 8:30 tomorrow night, if we can. That'll be the last stream until I think Saturday on game day. So enjoy tomorrow's stream because it is going to be the last one for a while. And I am still working on the Gary Birtles podcast. And there's also another mystery guest coming on, hopefully as well at some point in the next couple of weeks. So if you can guess who they are, let me know. But amazing to have heard from you all this evening. It's been an absolutely great evening. I'm just saying, my fantasy Premier League team back up to 81 points. Cheers, Luis Diaz. Top man. Thank you very much, Luis Diaz. It's been amazing to bring this stream to you all, everybody. Thank you all very much for joining. Have an absolutely amazing night. Come on, Forest. And don't forget, we're back tomorrow at 8:30. So cheers for joining, everybody. Have an awesome night.